I'm Jennifer, and this is my daughter Emily, and today we're doing the second lesson for kids. And this can really go for all ages. I actually did cater the first one a little bit more towards the younger kids, but really anyone can follow these. So in this one, we're going to sew buttons, and you're going to sew a smiley face with kind of like a chain stitch. So don't take yours off yet. So this one's Emily's. So what I did is I demonstrated how to do the buttons and how to do the mouth for the first part of the video. The second half, Emily did this, and she did ask some questions. So I would encourage you to watch the beginning and then do the project with her in the second part. And then you can always hit pause and rewind if you need to see something again. Anything you want to add, sweetie? She also wanted to make red curly hair, but I told her that we didn't want to make the video too long, so she may end up doing red curly hair. But this is the second lesson. It is an introductory lesson. I do show how to actually thread both the big needles, which are the leather needles, and also the smaller needles.
The needles that go to this.
Okay, you're going to have to hold it up because I don't think they can see that. Yeah, it just, yes, we do that, and as also with the embroidery thread. And then the kits are all available on the website. They are completely free for kids as long as I have them in stock. I do have a wish list that I have created on Amazon if you wanted to purchase anything for some kits, so I could actually make more and give them to kids. The fabrics that I use are mostly scraps and leftover fabrics that I have here. And so I'll continue to use those until I no longer have those, and then I will probably add to my wish list some fabrics. We are going to be doing a scrap teddy bear at the very end using a whole bunch of scrap fabrics. So start collecting your scraps now because you'll be able to sew along with us. I also will have a way on the website if you did want to contribute, $5 to help pay for shipping for any of the supplies for the kids. I'm not providing free shipping as of right now until I actually basically get some of my supply costs back. But like I said, the supply kits are absolutely free. I'm not charging for those. The only things that you would need to pay for would be the shipping. And if you are local here in St. Petersburg or the near area, you're welcome to select pickup. This is a short review on threading your needle, and we are also going to do a little demonstration on threading with regular thread and a smaller hole needle. We are also going to sew a button before we go on to our next project. So as a reminder, we're going to loosen this, set down one of these, put it around the edge and make it tight. Okay, so with my needle, we can use the needle threader. It goes through, I can't even see, there you go, through the hole of the needle, so you can kind of set your needle through there. You put this through just a tiny little bit, and then you pull the needle off. And then you pull the needle threader out of there. Okay. So for this, we're just going to tie a knot on the end. So we can do this in our hand also. So basically do a loop, put the thread through, and we're going to pull this through. Now we want to make sure that this knot is towards the end. So you can take and roll that, kind of slide that down until you hit the end. So keeping your finger here, and push that all the way to the other side. Okay, so we have threaded this needle. Now those of you that want to sew, do a little bit more, this finer thread. We're going to do very much the same thing. This might be a little bit harder for me to see. I don't have my glasses on. There we go. So the same idea is that you put the needle threader, the pointy part, through the hole of the needle, so the needle hangs there. and you put a little bit of the thread through. Then you pull that needle with the thread. Now I'll get into the reason, I will get into sewing with a single thread, which is a little bit more advanced, but in the meantime we're going to sew with the threads doubled. So if we do the same type of stitch or same type of knot we did on that, and we tie a knot, it is going to be very small. So small that you're not really going to be able to see. But if you look here on the orange one, this is going to stop the thread, this one is not. So let me just show you for example. It pops right through. So there's a couple other ways we can do to make a knot a little bit bigger on here. So one of them is we're going to take our thread and our needle. So kind of just as we've done, forget there's a knot there, kind of put it in a loop, and we're going to hold it so the thread, the tips of the thread is pointing in the opposite direction of the needle. And I'm going to hold it by where the eye of the needle is, where the hole is. And I'm going to take and I'm going to make sure I hold this real tight, and I'm going to wrap this around about 5 times. And then once I have that wrapped around, I want to use this hand to grab those threads, and then I'm going to pull the needle through. I'm not letting go of this little knot. And then if you pull it, you should actually be able to get a knot at the end that will be pretty stable. So that's another way. I'm going to lose all my thread before I get a chance to do this. Another way to do this, which is the way I like to do it, it's a little bit gross though, and you don't want anyone else touching this. If you do, it's to lick your finger. So you get your finger wet, and then you hold on to that thread, and you wrap it around about 3-4 times, and then you kind of take and you twist those threads together. So kind of twisting it, rolling it off your finger, and then you take and you pull that, and you get a bigger knot. Now this will also help keep it from going through your fabric. So that's just another way if you wanted to experiment with using a smaller thread. For this example, I'm going to do this since it is a lot easier to see. And we're going to be sewing a button. So here we have 2 different buttons. This one has 4 holes and this one has 2 holes. We'll start with the one that's 2 holes. Now normally when we start sewing, if this is the good side of our fabric, this is the side that we're going to see, we normally start sewing with the needle and the part coming from the back. But when you've got a button is usually something that's going to be near the skin. So what I like to do is take a loop on the right side of the fabric, pull that, so we've got that knot. Now we can always go in and trim this down a little bit. And so once you have that through there, you're going to go through the needle. Now you want to be going through the back side of the needle. So you decide which is the front, which is the side you want to see. And this side is nice and curved. So I think I want this to be on the part that you see. So if you kind of hold it, this is how it's going to look. Put the needle up, then you put the needle back in. Just like that. And that way when it goes down, that's the way it's going to be finished. So before I do the next step, I'm now going to go and kind of poke through both sides. Now if it's easier for you to go through this side, we want to stitch right about where the knot was. So that way we can bring it down, you get nice and tight, and then we're going to try and poke it through the other side. Well, sometimes it's kind of hard to see. So if you kind of come to the back side, you see where the stitches are? We're going to try and we want to try and go through the other hole. So once we've got that other hole, there we go, we're all through it again. And then this time, because it's already kind of down, we can then take and just go through this other hole, but not through your fabric. Like that. So we've gone through the thread through the hole twice, and it makes it a little bit more secure. And we've gone through the fabric twice, so that makes it secure. Now what we like to do is that a lot of times when you sew on buttons is all the wearing and tearing, they end up popping off because they're too tight to the fabric. So what we do is I'm going to take and I'm going to wrap that thread around. See what I just did? Undo that. So here, take and I'm going to wrap the thread around the base. So the base of it, see how beautiful that is? And it makes it so it kind of hides all that ugliness. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to go through. And before I pull it completely tight, I'm going to go through that loop and then pull it. Okay? And usually when you're working with this type of thread, it does make a much tighter knot here. Now that I've gone through here, this you can see that that knot could actually come out. So I'm actually going to take it back through the back side, knot it, or cut it, and then I'm going to do a little knot back here. And this way your button is nice and secure. So whether you're going to replace a button or you're going to use it as an eye on something, you can see, hey, it wiggles around. So I'm going to take a second button. Now I'm going to get another piece of this, and I think, let's see, do we have another piece, Emily? Another piece of orange? Yeah, right about here. Let's see, is this a big piece? Let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty big piece. Not that we need that whole piece. I'll do half of it. Emily's going to demonstrate after me, so she's going to. And so sometimes when the threads start coming undone, and this is just a little trick that we have done as seamstresses, is you actually kind of put the tip in your mouth of the thread. It gets them all stuck together again, and it makes it a little bit easier. But it can be a little bit gross too, so don't slobber all over it. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to rethread this needle. Okay. Oops, and what did I forget to do? I forgot to take it off my thread. Ooh, and I just popped that one off. So sometimes these break. They're not the strongest things. You can try and squeeze them back in here. I'll make sure I put 2 in each kit in case they get pulled out. You can see how easily that pulled out. And you can always have, there's like little things here, there's like, which you can kind of get it back into, but you just got to be careful. But I'll include 2 in those kits. Okay, so we have this again. I'm going to come and, remember, here's another way we can do this. If you cannot figure out how to tie that, I'm going to do my other spot right here, bring it all the way, and then when I see those 2 ends, I'm going to just take and knot this. And sometimes this is easier to do than trying to spend all sorts of time trying to make a knot on your thread. And then that's a pretty good knot. So now we have a button that has 4 holes. Now usually what we do is we go to the hole straight across, and then we go down like we did before, so you can kind of loop underneath the thread, like underneath that fabric. Make sure it doesn't get caught anywhere. And then we're going to come up through one of the other holes that doesn't already have thread through it, and then back through that side. And I can go back through my thread, although I think that may be, we've already gone through it twice, so we've secured it in our fabric. So now I can take and I can wind it around and kind of go through, kind of stitch it through, and then catch that loop with the needle, pull it, then take that down below, and then we can knot it. So you can practice sewing a few little buttons. I'm going to show you something else. How about we make this into a smiley face? So you see how my threads are fraying? You can also lick your finger and just kind of wind it in there so you're not sticking the whole thing in your mouth, although my threads aren't going to go together. So I just lick that. Now since I broke that one, I'm going to try and see about going right through here, or I will hand this over. Clip off the ends that are a little frayed, and if I can't get this in, I will be handing this to Emily to thread for me. Okay, let's see. I get that in? Almost. It's like something's not all the way through.
I can help.
I've split it. I split the thread.
Cut it.
Well, here, I'll get my other needle threader. Okay, goes through the hole. And okay, through there just a little bit. Enough to pull this out. And I guess hold on to the little prongs so it doesn't break the needle threader. Okay. So I'm going to, this time we're going to do this on the back side. So I am going to kind of just tie this in a knot. And then I'm going to do a different stitch. Something different that I did not show you in the other video. So Emily, you better watch, since you're going to be showing them how to do this next. Okay, so now I'm back through this side, and what I'm going to do is we're going to try and do like a crochet stitch. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to come back up, so just kind of taking a little bit, and if you need to go down this way, we're actually going to leave a little bit of that loose, so we can leave that loose. And then I'm going to come back up right near it. Now in the back, we want to kind of, what we're now going to do is we're going to take and we're going to loop it through there. So what I can do is I can go down and back up. And then I'm going to loop it through. See, it kind of makes a fun little, so go down and back up. And we're going to loop it through. So now it kind of makes a big, a bigger continuous, and we probably need to pull the thread a little bit tighter. I just didn't. Okay. It's kind of a silly face, huh? Think you can do this, Emily?
Yeah.
You see what I'm doing?
So easy.
Yeah, it is kind of easy, huh? It's just another way. Well, you're gonna demonstrate what I just did, right?
But I'm gonna make my own smiley face on my own fabric.
Okay. Okay. Once you've got your smiley face, I'm gonna do one more. Loop it up. I'm gonna then take this back to the back side. So we've got my smiley face, and then we can come around here. So I'm going to make a loop, and before you finish that loop, this is what we don't want to. We want to make sure that our thread's not too short. Is that you can put that needle through that loop and pull like that. And see what we've done is we've just created a little knot right there. I have that done, and you have just sewn a smiley face with 2 eyes for buttons.
I'm going to put this in, and I have it on top of the one that you don't tighten, so then you can tighten it. And sometimes you can't see that, because if it's sometimes it's a smaller piece and it can't really fit on here, so you might have to have a bigger piece instead.
Like, you tighten yours up.
And Sometimes it's hard to tighten. Because sometimes I feel like I'm loosening it. There. So now I'm going to thread my needle, and I'm going to use some...
You can do red for the mouth and blue for the eyes? Let me do this one then. Okay.
And sometimes you just like mess up that because I was doing it, and I'm normally not. I'm going to have it that big.
It's kind of short. Probably want a little bit bigger, but you try it with that one and see if you need a bigger one next time, okay?
I won't.
Okay. Well, your needle's right there. I'll leave you so you can continue working and showing them. If you have any questions, just holler. I'll come in.
So, if you can see that hole, put it through it. Sometimes it's hard for me. And then put it through that. Sometimes you just have to... Sometimes I accidentally put too much in it, and I don't hold on to the side when I'm trying to put that off. And then that. And you have to like pull tight and make sure that they're aligned. And then, Mommy.
What?
I need help.
What do you need help with?
Do we go like that or that? That or that?
Well, I think we were going to sew them. If you look here, we started it on the top, right? Remember? If you were watching me. That's okay. You can also knot it after you've got it in here.
I like doing it. I did it close.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because sometimes you can like knot it like super close, like when you're beginning the knot, and then you don't really have to move it over. Only like a tiny bit.
Nope, on the other side. We did on this side, so that way the big knot's on the over here.
So like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have my eye over here.
So remember what I did is I did it so you can kind of pull it like that. Okay? So that way you kind of, and this fabric's stretchy so it allows you to do that. So you pull it and then you can start your button.
And I'm going to use the, like that. If you want to have it like that for the top, it's yours, so normally I like it like that. Sometimes it's hard to get the needle through.
Remember we have to go through again. You gotta go this has to go through the fabric. So if you want to go kind of poke it through that side,
Okay.
look around, and then you're going to try and come back out through the other side. So once you pull that tight, see if you can try and find the hole.
Of what?
The hole of the button.
I'm just trying to Yes.
If you can kind of get it through, then you can kind of move it. If your needle's up there, where's your needle? Push the needle through. Okay, and find a hole. Find a hole. There we go. We found a hole. Okay.
Yeah.
Pull it up real tight. It's got to go back down through this. Remember?
Yeah.
And then you're going to wrap. Once you get it through there, it's not going to go through the fabric again. We're going to wrap it around. So did you pull it tight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wrap it around a few times.
Yeah. Put that
We can always clip that too. Okay, that's probably enough times. You're getting a little carried away. And then you're going to take your needle and thread and then sew through that.
That's
Okay?
hard.
Well, you don't want to have it that many times in there. Let me get these scissors. So clip a little bit of that out. You don't need all that. So remember, once you wrap it around, once you grab it and you pull it through, you want to leave that loop, right?
Yeah.
What do we do with it? Yep, goes through that loop. Pull it tight. Real tight. Then you can also take that all the way back to the back side over here, and then you can cut it and tie a knot. Think you got it?
Yep.
Okay. I'll leave you to do the other one.
And sometimes I like doing it like make a loop. Sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes you just like cut it too short. I cut it too short. And then twice and more, I think. Mommy, I can't add it.
Okay, then just leave it. Work on the next one.
Now I'm going to redo it. I'm going to do a little bit bigger. Right there. Maybe a little bit longer. I need it to be. Sometimes I can put it right through the hole. It's big enough. No. And then sometimes it's hard. And sometimes I use it too much that it comes like in. That's what happens when I'm sewing. And have it like this. And then knot it. bigger. And then I just through. And how big that big. And then you that. And then you pick this and we can run into. Through. Oopsie. Hot. Mommy, what do I do after after this?
Did you get it through both? Okay, well you gotta go through the other holes. Yeah. So we gotta go through. Remember, we go to the back and forward. Or you can go like that, and then we push it through, and we try and get it through another hole, like that. And then you need to go through that one, and then we wrap it around again.
So then we go through that one?
Yep, we go through that hole. But don't go all the way through the fabric again, because we don't need to go through the fabric. Yep. Okay, once you got it pretty tight in there. Yep, it looks like a little X. Now if we want, we can cut this and wrap it around.
Wrap it around 3 or 4 times.
3. 2 or 3. That's fine. As many times as.
And then poke it through there.
Okay. Yep, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. There you go. Okay. Then go back through to the back side. Put the needle back through to the back side. Get right underneath where that is, so you can hide all those stitches. It's raining out there. Okay, so, and that's it. Then you can tie a knot if you want. So you weren't able to do this one in a little knot?
Yeah.
Guess your fingers aren't as dexterous as mine are.
Okay, it's right there.
Yeah, so that way you got it. So I got that one knotted for you. Okay, you can do that, and then you're going to do this one. Do you remember how to do this one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So like, make it like a circle, and then go through the circle is how I do it.
Well, if you want it to actually be secure to it, you probably just tie the two like you're tying a shoelace. So,
I normally do it like that.
Stuff on. Let's see. Gotta be in the shot. Well, see, the problem is when you do it like that, that doesn't secure it here, so that button could get loose. So the reason why we're doing the knot like this, it's like if you're tying a shoe, you want to secure it, right? So tie it like that. So you're tying your shoe. Oops. Oh! What happened? You got wrapped around something.
My tummy hurts.
That's, oh, look.
I don't feel good.
Okay, so you're done?
Yeah. So I'm going to start the knot on the back, and I'm going to have it so then it's super happy. So it's way up, and then like that.
Yep. Can I pull it up like that? Exactly.
And then
Pull it most of the way. Alright, and catch the loop. Put it through the loop.
I'm catching it right there.
Okay, put the needle through the loop.
Because doing that, you can have your fingers, so then you're not like, where do I stop?
Now you gotta pull it tight, pull it tight, pull it tight.
Whee!
Yep. Huh? And it helps you to kind of do it this way, so you're...
I'm turning it. So it would be here?
No, you actually can have space between it. Not that far. So you want to have it kind of like this. So like a pinky, space through. Like that.
Pinky.
Yep.
Do you know why I was still holding on to that?
Yep, so you didn't lose your loop.
Yep. You're always correct.
Okay, can continue on.
Don't poke my pinky. That matches how big my pinky is.
You want to do it up and down through the little loop? You don't want to try and do it like this?
Oh yeah, I can.
You're forgetting. Okay, I'm going to leave you.
I'm going to. Sometimes it helps if you have it over here and then put like maybe a couple fingers up there and pull to make sure that you don't lose loop. And I'm going through, pull, and tight. And it kind of starts to look like a big smiley if you want to have it like that. And then you can go like this. I'm just doing it with one finger. And it's kind of like a pretty. And if you pull it too, not too good on the regular doing it, it's gonna get like all curled up like that. It won't be nice. Let's try to do a pinky. Sometimes it's just sometimes it just doesn't work. Now I'm doing the bottom. And that's a little different from mine. Because I'm having mine curved. Oh yeah. And sometimes you can see where it is. Like I can. I'm just super good. And so I can see it. do it normally, and doesn't really matter. It only matters to you. And that was a bit neat. And that was my pinky. Because sometimes just your pinky is so big, just like mine. So it's basically like looping around. Like you're looping it around that one. Because you can do it this way too. I like to do it, I don't know. And I'm just going to because it takes longer if you do it that way. The thing doesn't look right on mine. Sometimes I do that. Go through that side. And you can do both sides if you want. You can do one side too. That side. It can be big, small. Got me. And then on that side. And go down and cut it out. Cut it, make it so they cut it about there.
What?
I'm on knotting.
What?
I'm on knotting.
Okay, so how do you knot?
Like
Just like you're
that.
tying a shoe. How do you tie a shoe? See, you take the two, have your hands so people can see. Take the two, cross them,
And then
the
put
one
it
from
under.
underneath, yep, and then you pull that tight. Do another one because that one's kind of small.
I do it this way, different kind. That's if you double tie it like that, it will stay in. And you might want to use one of those because it's like an X. Let's just get that.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to have more content like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Thank you very much.